So the Utah Jazz lose in a big way to the Minnesota Timberwolves, but there's some bright spots. We saw some great things from a few players on this Jazz team, especially, well, you'll have to wait and see who we're going to talk about. It's the Hoops Nerd postgame show. All right, guys, so the Utah Jazz, they lose to the Minnesota Timberwolves. This was not really competitive at any point in this game. In fact, I kind of want to bring this up because one of the funniest things, and I was mad, and I'm still mad about that fine the Utah Jazz got for Lauri Markkanen, because I think that's a tactic from the NBA to try to bully the Utah Jazz, something they aren't doing to other teams, although there are some loopholes around it that other teams are using that the Jazz have not, which I guess it is what it is. It's just frustrating to me that the Utah Jazz get targeted. But Utah has been playing Lauri Markkanen these last 3 games, and they've lost all 3. And they've been doing some really, really good tanking these last few games. In fact, I want to bring this up. So they lose tonight to the Timberwolves. Markkanen plays. They lose against the Raptors, who are also trying to lose games, and Markkanen plays. And then they lose, let's go back one here, previous game, they lose to the Philadelphia 76ers. Did Markkanen play in this one? Am I even on the right? Wait a minute, we went back on the wrong thing. The Utah Jazz lose to the Raptors. Let's see. Okay. Oh, the Grizzlies. And Markkanen plays. This show's not going very well this time. It's okay. It's okay. We got another one tomorrow. And then Celtics. So Utah has played Lauri Markkanen in the last 3 games and have lost all 3. And that included a loss to the Toronto Raptors, who are trying to lose games. So they're doing something great. The second half against the Toronto Raptors, they rested Markkanen. They did not need to rest him the second half tonight, although he didn't play as many. Last game against the Raptors, he played 18, if I remember correctly. Tonight, he plays 26. They're probably resting him because they're going to have to play him tomorrow because they want to avoid a fine from Adam Silver, so they have to play him tomorrow. Otherwise, they'll look like they're trying to tank, which they are, but they're playing Mark. I don't know. It's just a weird spot the Jazz are in because they are going to play Markkanen tomorrow to make sure that they don't get fined. The game after, though, is the one against the Washington Wizards, and that's going to be the fascinating game of the season. What's up, Robert Hall? Loved your Twitter interactions tonight. What? Did I have some Twitter interactions tonight, Gabe? Did I? No, I'm just kidding. No, I just, some people pay attention to everything I guess I say and do, and their whole shtick is to leech off of it and try to dunk on me or SLC Dunk. And can I just say one thing? And, because the people saying those things likely watching right now. What's up, guys? What's up, guys? The Utah Jazz front office reads SLC Dunk. They do. How do I know? Because I've talked to them and they told me so. They read SLC Dunk. So you should too. Okay? So anyone who's out there has a problem with SLC Dunk, that's fine. That's your opinion. But guess what? The Utah Jazz enjoy it. We're doing something right. And I know that there are people out there that are jealous of it, and you should be, because it's the best Utah Jazz blog out there. There is no other blog out there that compares. And to be honest, and I'm going to sound super arrogant right now, there is no other Utah Jazz podcast or YouTube channel or whatever that compares to this. And I have been very friendly to everyone out there. Every single other Jazz blog out there in the last 10, 15 years, I've been nice to. They've all been defeated and lost. If you think you're going to come at me or SLC Dunk and somehow either destroy me or whatever, well, guess what? I'm going to be here no matter what. Never going away. Never going away, ever. And unless the owner of SB Nation gets rid of SLC Dunk, which he might, they have been downsizing blogs. But the reason they did not downsize the SLC Dunk blog is because we have one of the best readerships in the NBA. We have been kicking ass for 10 years, and especially the last 3 years when I took over at manager. So if you have a problem with me, that's fine, but we're winning. We're killing it. Tough. Sorry, it's what's happening. Now, it's a tanking season. Readership is not going to be as good during tanking seasons, just like on my YouTube channel, and that's fine. But guess what? We're still putting up numbers. People are still coming here watching the videos. They're still going to SLC Dunk, reading the articles. We're doing something right. If you are jealous of that, I don't know what to tell you. But if you want to come at me, that's not the way to go, because guess what? I can be friends with you. We can interact in a cordial, friendly way. But if your whole thing is to try to get at me, you're going to lose, dude. You're going to lose. You're going to lose. So tough. If I'm like Trump, so be it. Sad. 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 Y'all know that I am like the least like Trump out there. Anyone who knows me, anyone who's followed my Twitter, anyone who's talked to me in real life knows that I am not, I don't know. There we go. Can we just, and by the way, they've told me they read it directly. So, I don't know. And here's the thing. We do this video, we do it every Jazz game, and my goal is to do it every day. I don't get to it, though. But guess what I am doing? SLC Dunk every single day. Go there right now. I wrote a recap before this show. Sometimes opinions are going to change, guys. And not even opinions, just viewpoints. Like this guy on Twitter, I don't even remember his name, is like constantly coming at me at things I said 3 months ago. Well, guess what? 3 months ago, the Jazz were like 5th or 6th in the lottery, going in the wrong direction. They were more likely to get to the 9th spot on that date than they were the number 1 spot. And if your opinion doesn't change, you're stupid. You're dumb. You are a low IQ individual if your opinion does not change based off of the information you are receiving. If you do that, you're an idiot. You should take every single point of information and relate to it. But some people aren't writing articles every day like SLC Dunk, and I understand that. Some of you don't have the work ethic that the SLC Dunk writers have. Not all of them can take it, to be honest. We've been through 2 writers this year that couldn't cut it. And a lot of people that are mad at the SLC Dunk site, or some people that have tried to dunk on me before, were people that wrote for the site and couldn't cut it. Couldn't cut it. You're not on this level. You're not on this level. Sorry. I've been doing this for years. It takes a certain level of insanity to do what I do. It just does. But we do this every day, every season, every decade, every lottery, every trade deadline, every offseason, every free agency, every summer league, every preseason, every single game is covered by either this channel or SLC Dunk. Every single one. And I can tell you right now, this offseason, every trade rumor, every single thing, every single draft article, every prospect will be covered because we're about this. You want to do a nice little podcast once a week? Congrats. Congrats. Hope everyone listens to it. Hope you get reviews. I hope it does well for you. But you ain't about this. Sorry, if you want to take the opinions of someone who does this every single day from an opinion from 3 months ago, I have a lot of different things I said 2 weeks ago, right? Because we do this. This will always be here. I don't even feel very good. I'm out here flu gaming this. Flu gaming it. I've been here all season. All tank. I was here during the Ty Corbin years. I was there. You were not. You were not. Every game, every season, every post game, I was there. You were not. By the way, all those other blogs, they all lost. We're on what, like the third iteration of Sports Illustrated? I'm surprised they're even around. They've been hiring AI writers. Are we sure these people are even real that write for SI? They might just be AI bots for all we know, because that's what SI got in trouble for, right? I've been here through every iteration of Sports Illustrated blogs, and I've watched them all fail. Every single one. Every single one. We won. They lost. It's over. It's Jover, as they say, right? It's Jover. And like I said, I'm not in control of the future of SLC Dunk. That's the SB Nation owner and president of Vox Media. He's the one who makes the decisions. He's the one who decided to end all the hockey and soccer blogs. He was the one who folded 10 NBA blogs, ended all NBA podcasts through the SB Nation network. He's the one who decided that, not this. And this blog lives, baby. So you can just count on it. And if I tell you what, if Utah wins the Cooper Flag sweepstakes, if they win those, you can bet SLC Dunk is going to receive life and fire like you never felt before. If we don't, it may fold. But guess what? We certainly outlasted. We were not in the bottom. And guess what? I promise you, SLC Dunk punches above our weight. Every single report. Every single one. Just so we're clear. Just so we're clear. And I tell you what, I started this YouTube channel from nothing. From nothing. I started this YouTube channel after I talked to David Locke, and he asked me how I even got through the interview process. That was the first thing he said to me. How did you get through the interview process? How did you even get here? And in my head, I swear I regret it. I will regret it for the rest of my life. But the first thing I wanted to say, because I'm the most talented person that's going to walk into this office today. And I was right. He should have hired me. I would have made it better, and I would have been a part of that whole spectrum. But different timeline. Things changed. It's okay. It helped fuel a fire that created this YouTube channel. So I want to thank David Locke for creating this. And honestly, maybe I should thank all these bottom feeders on Twitter who want a piece of what this is. If you want a piece of this, fine. It's not like we're driving around in Ferraris on the Hoops Nerd channel, to be honest. If you think that this is anything other than just a passion project, you are wrong. I would love this to be my full-time job. I would love it. But this is my passion. I'm going to do this regardless. And guess what? I'm going to be myself on Twitter. And if someone wants to come at me, guess what? Once in a while, I'm going to clap back. It's what's going to happen. Sorry. If I hurt your feelings, I don't care. Go cry a river. Go beg for more retweets. Sorry. All right. Should we talk about the Utah Jazz? Let's talk about the Utah Jazz. This game, we shouldn't really talk about it. No, just kidding. Let's forget this one of all the games. The Utah Jazz lost this one and in no way, shape, or form was this game competitive at any point during the game. There were a few bright spots, though. I have to say I've been pretty excited about Cody Williams recently, but tonight was not one of those nights where you talk super highly of Cody Williams. It'll be fine, but like we say with him, he's got a lot of development to do. Cody Williams is definitely a sign of what the Utah Jazz are trying to do as a team and build as a team, and that is length and defensive talent combined with shooting and offensive ability. Basically two-way players with length and size and athleticism. That's what the Jazz are trying to do, by the way. All right, sorry, I had to get that in. There's the promo. Where's my advertising dollars? Mountain Dew, you just got 60 people to watch me take a swig of that. That's the type of advertising you want. Anyways, Cody Williams is a sign of what the Jazz are trying to do. I don't know if he's going to develop into anything particularly special. We'll see. It's basically jury's out. Not the greatest of signs, but there are a few things. The defensive numbers in some of the advanced analytics are looking pretty nice and pretty interesting. And then he's shooting the three much better. In fact, just for fun, because who even cares about this show right now? Let's go look at Cody Williams. And I want to All-Star break 2025. Because post All-Star break, I think, let's see, that was, just show me the date, please. February 19th. Okay, so let's look at Cody Williams from post All-Star break. One thing that is really exciting. In fact, 212. Since this date, did he hit threes though? Does it help the narrative? Yeah, so let's take it from the 12th because we're going to help boost my argument here. But anyways, field goal attempts, he's taking 5 shots a game in 20 minutes. You'd like to see that go up. In fact, maybe I should do some sort of SLC Dunk article on like how many shots he should be taking, because I think that's one of the things that I think a lot of people have been a little frustrated with Cody Williams is just the lack of shots and the lack of aggression. It feels like he's taking more shots. In fact, if we move this over, let's look at where's field goal attempts here. That's this one right here. Just like a quick glance, it's not scientific. 7, 9, 7, 7, 9, 8. So there's a few games where he's actually taking more. So that's good to see. But anyways, look at this. 3-point percentage since February 12th, 43% on 3-point shots. Now, I think tonight, what did he shoot tonight? He shot 0 for 3. So that's going to go down a little bit. But 40+% from Cody Williams from 3. That's nice to see. So if you're wanting like silver linings, that's one of them. Lauri Markkanen played pretty decently. I have to say, I don't know if there's a report out there or something. Christian House Money to Haas, member for 42 months. The Jazz and I both lost today. Hurt my hip / back snowboarding. Christian, I hope you're okay, House Money. What's wrong with your back? I'm sorry, man. Back injuries suck. And if you're like me, I'm 41. A back injury would take like a literal year to heal. It sucks a lot. But anyways, Lauri Markkanen, 5 for 12, 4 for 11 from 3. Perfectly fine outing. Utah got their butts kicked tonight, though, so not a lot else to really take from that other than Markkanen played. And, I don't know. I don't know what to think about Lauri Markkanen this season, to be honest, because there's like 2 different viewpoints that maybe he's having a really down year, which I tend to lean towards more that. But there is some element of the Jazz are losing these games, and it would be hard to like get up for every single game. And I feel like he does try. I feel like there's if you're watching all these games, he does seem to try. Tonight, the energy wasn't crazy good. But he does, I don't know. I think Lauri Markkanen is going to be a fascinating. No way. Oh, I broke my back in multiple. I thought you meant today. I broke my back in multiple places and compressed my vertebrae when I was 17. That sucks. Man. I'm sorry, Christian. That sucks, man. That is no fun. Back stuff is no fun. That is no fun. But yeah, I don't know what to think with Lauri Markkanen. I lean towards more like, I think you should be doing better than just, because it's this argument, and I've talked about this multiple times. But, there's so many people when they talk about like NFL teams that, if this quarterback just had a great offensive line, oh my gosh, you fell off a cliff, kind of like the Jazz record. After I wrote an article about the Jazz needing to tank more, maybe the Jazz read my article. Maybe. Should I take credit for what the Jazz did? Maybe. I don't know. Or maybe they just kind of came to their senses and were along the same thinking as me. Anyways, I think Markkanen's getting traded this offseason, guys. If you read that Sarah Todd article, the parts of that article that were fascinating, I wrote about it a little bit on SLC Dunk, by the way, but you can go and read that and go read her article, obviously. It's called like State of the Utah Jazz or something like that. Great article by Sarah Todd. She does amazing work. But it said that, Utah wants to keep their pick next year. They want to be top 8. So, they're going to have to lose a lot of games because next year's draft is incredible as well. And Utah, you look at the tank race right now, this is a tight race, guys. I guess the Bulls are sitting at 8th, but Utah was at 8th last lottery and then got jumped twice and fell to 10th. That would be a disaster for Utah if that happened again. And you can bet they don't want to be sitting at 7 or 8 and get jumped and lose their pick, especially if they don't go for it next year. So you're going to want to be at least 5 or 6, at least, to just avoid that, because there are scenarios where you're sitting there. It's very unlikely for that to happen a lot, but there's scenarios where you could be at 6 and get jumped 3 times. And so I think Utah has to make sure they're at least at 5. And then what Sarah Todd talked about is that Utah has people that are interested in Markkanen that they can trade with if they feel like they would be too good next year. Now, I think, and I'm paraphrasing here, so I could be off and wrong, but it kind of also talked about the fact that if Utah wins the lottery and gets Cooper Flagg, could they be too good with Markkanen? Yeah, that's a question. That's definitely a question. Cooper Flagg's going to be a really good player. He's going to go through the things that all rookies do and struggles that rookies do. But, you don't want to risk it. And Markkanen's timeline is it's just not the same as the timeline of what Utah is on right now. And that's another element of that article that it talks about, that Utah is they're not in building mode. That's what it also said. It said that Utah is in teardown modes still. And this offseason may be teardown mode still. And so I just think that it's very unlikely. I mean, I don't know. Very unlikely. It's not going to be a surprise if Lauri Markkanen gets traded this offseason, whether the Jazz win the Cooper Flagg sweepstakes or not, because Utah just does not have the infrastructure yet to compete for a championship. And that's the goal. The only other thing that would kind of keep them from, I guess, tanking is if someone like Devin Booker becomes available. That's something that Sarah Todd mentioned and Tony Jones mentioned, which makes me think, after having done this for a long time, that, Ryan Smith is likely someone talking about that, or someone in the front office has mentioned that name, So maybe that's something that is kind of being batted around. But that's like the only thing that would keep Utah from tanking next year, is if they get like a Devin Booker. And I'm not even the biggest Devin Booker fan. Like, Devin Booker and Chris Paul and that team got to the finals. But I think that was almost more Chris Paul than anything, because post Chris Paul, what have they done? You know what I mean? Walker Kessler was one of the players I wanted to mention tonight. 6 for 15, if you look at that and you didn't watch the game, you'd be like, well, what the heck? Well, he took 6 threes at the end of the game just to take threes, and I was happy he did it. So really, we should look at this more as 6 for, what's 15 minus 6? I know math. 6 for 9. He had a really nice night, at least statistically, against Rudy Gobert. Look at this, 15 points, 19 rebounds, only 2 turnovers. He's just such a solid NBA rotation player. I don't know if he's ever going to be like an all-star or anything like that, but he's certainly a strong rotation player. I don't know what will happen this offseason. I doubt they're trading him at all, because I think that the Jazz, if they go with Cooper Flagg and Walker Kessler and then all their other young guys, I think that's good enough to be bottom 5 for sure. You start putting John Collins on the floor with those guys, though. Colin Sexton, Jordan Clarkson. Yes, those guys aren't super efficient, but the thing that veterans like Jordan Clarkson do and Colin Sexton do, and they don't defend well, but what they do is make strong plays, and they tend to not turn the ball over at a high level, like a floor. Whereas when you have a bad team with rookies running the show, the floor is like gone. You're going to have games where you just have, like tonight, where it's just the bottom falls out and there's nothing that's stopping you from losing big time. If anything, Utah's had a pretty impressive year with having Isaiah Collier start and have not been getting blown out as like tonight is the exception for the season. Utah has had so many close games. And the the team might be letting go of the rope a little bit now that the season's getting over. I mean, we only have 14 games left. It's going by fast, and there's a game tomorrow as well. So we'll see. But Utah, if they do that and they have those players playing, and, if you have Cooper Flagg, Lowry Markkanen, Walker Kessler, John Collins, Colin Sexton, and Jordan Clarkson, and then you have the Jazz's rookies that are either not playing or young players or getting like sixth man minutes. That's a team that's not going to win a ton of games, but it's definitely a team that could be sitting where someone would that team be around where San Antonio is? Yeah. That's kind of what San Antonio is, right? They have Victor Wembanyama. They have a player in Vassell that they signed with a max contract because they liked him. They brought on a veteran in Chris Paul, and Utah would be kind of sitting in this area, 7, 8, 9, 10. Portland really turned it on. Utah doesn't want to be that good, so we will see. But next year would be a lot of fun. I mean, let me know in the comments, but a team that Utah puts on the floor that has Cooper Flagg and Walker Kessler and whoever they draft with the Wolves pick, combined with Taylor Hendricks, combined with Isaiah Collier, Keontae George, all these guys, that team will lose some games for sure, but that's a fun team. Wouldn't that be fascinating to watch Cooper Flagg every single night and just watch his development from the beginning? That'd be a blast. And then if you go in the next offseason, you get another top 3 to 5 pick and combine that with those players, that's when things get really interesting. You bring on, that's when you go use your cap space. Interestingly enough, Utah has John Collins, Colin Sexton, and Jordan Clarkson all on expiring deals next year. They just buy them out, let them go make it with other teams, not replace them because you have their contracts because you buy them out. And then that offseason, you find out what happens in the lottery. You have cap space to go out and get a player in free agency. So you could go out and either use that to trade someone into cap space, or you could just go sign a free agent, whoever you want. It's pretty exciting to think about. And that's the offseason. Things get really interesting for Utah. So right now, things are going perfectly for Utah. They really have made sure to get this top pick. Honestly, it's taken some luck too, by the way. Did anyone expect the Washington Wizards to trade for Chris Middleton? What was that? They have won. I mean, that's looking at Chris Middleton. They have won. Washington's won 2 in a row. They're 6-4 in their last 10. Why? That had to be an owner thing, because now that put them above Utah. Utah has a full game on them. And if Utah loses to Washington, that number 1 is locked up. Absolutely locked up. And that is Utah has 2 winnable games left. Looking at the Tankathon remaining schedule strength, look at who Utah has left. Easiest opponents for Utah. Washington and Charlotte. I think they can just lose pretty easily to both the Bulls, the Blazers, and the Hawks. And those are teams that are motivated to win. Utah has 2 winnable games left. It's crazy. So if Utah can just ensure those, they lock up the number 1. And why is that important? Because that means Utah can pick no lower than 5th. No lower than 5th. Incredible. And Utah has the biggest losing streak in the NBA right now. So Utah is winning by losing. Incredible stuff. Incredible. All right. The other player I wanted to talk about outside of Walker Kessler, who's been really nice. I mean, I guess we got to give some shout outs to Colin Sexton, 9 for 18 from the field. Terrible defender, but he does score efficiently. I think there is absolutely a team out there that, by the way, Robert Hall, I forgot to give you your flowers. Thank you so much. $1.99 is super generous. Thank you so much. Wait, what? I wasn't on Twitter. Well, if you go there, you'll see that I had some words. I had a few things to say. Anyways, Colin Sexton, I think, can be a 6th man for a good team. I don't know if he can be on a team that's winning a championship. Ask yourself, could you see Colin Sexton playing for the Boston Celtics right now? Could you see Colin Sexton playing for the Oklahoma City Thunder? I could potentially see him playing some sixth man minutes for the Thunder, maybe some sixth man minutes for the Celtics. I think so, but I don't think it would be anything more than 10 to 15 minutes. I think because you've got to defend, and those teams both defend at an elite level. You have to be a good defender. So, the players I could see playing on those teams is obviously someone like Walker Kessler. Lauri Markkanen I could see as well, but the defense is not good enough. He's got to be a better defender. It's just not very good this year. That's one of the biggest things we got to watch more than anything with him is the defense is not good. It's just not been very good. So it's something to watch. Okay, now that we've mentioned that, Isaiah Collier had 6 rebounds and 6 assists. We got to keep giving him some credit. He was 44% from the field against a really good Timberwolves defense. This is mostly in the half court. That's pretty nice to see. He had one missed shot that I really liked. He goes and he takes this kind of free throw line pull up, and it looks it's almost like a little bit of he does that thing where they drive to the basket, stop, and do a little mini fadeaway with the space he creates, and it looked pretty good. If he can knock down something like that with regularity, it gives him a weapon in the half court, and that's one thing he's got to figure out how to do and be a threat in the half court, both obviously being kind of a catch and shoot 3-point shooter, pull up 3-point shooter if you're really really greedy, but then if he can go to the basket and do stuff, it's just going to be interesting to see. Now, Sarah Todd in that article talked about the Jazz looking at him as like a backup guard, which I guess is fine, but that means we're probably farther away than we think. The same thing with Keontae George. They look at him as more of a backup guard. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't think those things are set in stone. If they can improve, and I'm personally someone who believes in coaching, that players can get better, that they can get coached. You never know when one of these players gets on a trajectory. Like Collier's still a rookie. Williams is still a rookie. They've got years of development ahead of them. You never know when one of these players just gets better every single season. There's certain players that just have kind of an exponential growth curve. They're rare, but when you get one, they're the players that turn into real special guys. So let's hope that one of these guys is one of them. But the player I also wanted to talk about is Kyle Filipowski. Defensively, I think it's definitely not great right now. It can be better. He had some moments tonight, though. But what is really exciting is how good he is offensively. Offensively, Filipowski, 4 for 7 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3. That 3-point shot is becoming just legit. It's serious. You look at what he's doing percentage-wise. Look at that, 39.3. We're creeping up on 40% from 3 as a rookie forward center. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy stuff. And how tall is Filipowski? I mean, they have him at 6'11". That's pretty great. I think he probably, I don't know. I guess I don't want to put any sort of box around Filipowski, what he has to be and can't be. It does feel like, at least from right now. Now, someone may save this article and tweet it out 3 months and be like, look what stupid James said. He said Kyle Filipowski probably has to be a power forward. What an idiot. Well, maybe. But I think from what we're seeing, at least right now, snapshot of today, I think he's probably going to be better as a power forward. Robert, sometimes it cuts out. Sorry. It just cuts out sometimes. It's my computer. I need to get a new hard drive for it. I just do. It just kind of does this like blink thing. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I get comments on it every video. I will try to replace that at some point. We'll see. But anyways, Filipowski, defensively, I think he kind of probably needs to be a 4, and I think he could do fine. He moves his feet really well, can defend really well. A lot of positions. I think he can be a good defender. What is really exciting, though, is whether he's at the forward or the center, we know that he can be a really nice offensive player. Shooting this percentage from 3 is incredible. Like he is legitimately now just a weapon from 3. You throw this ball to Filipowski at the 3-point line, and he's going to knock it down. And this is his rookie year, so he's only going to get better. Only going to get better. But then you combine that with 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and yeah, 3 turnovers. But you know what? I don't care. That's against a really good Minnesota Timberwolves team. These are crazy numbers, and these are crazy things. And he doesn't just score by shooting the 3. He scores inside. He's tough. He'll get around the basket shots that goes in. He has good footwork. He's smart. I love his toughness. And I love that he's tough on offense, which means he has it in him to be tough on defense. And so I think Utah really has something really nice in Filipowski. And it'll be fun to watch what he kind of becomes down the road, because I think he absolutely can be such a weapon for this Jazz team. So I think that's everything. I tell you what, there was one turnover from Sensabaugh, who had 5 of them. But there was this one especially bad turnover where I was like, I don't know if you can play him if he's doing that. I mean, if you want to lose the game, you do. And Sensabaugh's shooting the ball nicely. 5 rebounds, 2 assists. These 5 turnovers, in fact, let's see if we can find it. It was like backcourt turnover. I think it's this one.
Utah has 16 turnovers in this game.
Oh, that's bad. Oh, it might have been this one. Oh, yeah, it's... No, it's not that one. It's this one. Look at this. This is so... Like, how do you not... This is so nonchalant. Like, he knows that defender is right there and just kind of throws it backwards without looking. Like, that is the type of play, if I'm the Utah Jazz coach, that I'm like, I don't think you got it. You know what I mean? I don't know if you have that certain something that you need to get to the next level. That is so bad. Like that, and I'm a pretty big apologist for a lot of players. You guys know I'm a pretty big apologist for Keontae George. I think Isaiah Collier in a lot of ways. I've been an apologist for Bryce Sensabaugh. I can't be an apologist for something like that. That is what loses games at every level against every team. That is a turnover that all 30 NBA coaches would bench you for. Just no question. And, I know the Jazz are losing games. That's got to be a tough thing for these players. But I tell you what, you want these players to show you who's got that toughness and grit, even when things are going terrible. Like, even though the Jazz are the worst record in the NBA now, literally, you want players that are going to play hard regardless. That's why you got to give respect to Colin Sexton. He's a bad defender, but he plays his heart out on offense at least. And at times seems to care a little bit. I don't know. He's a pretty bad defender. But when you have players that just don't care at all like that, that is, that's a tough one. I'll be honest. I don't know. I remember a turnover like that again that Shelvin Mack did back when Quinn Snyder was playing Shelvin Mack over Dante Exum, even though Dante Exum was healthy. And the whole argument was, well, he's a better veteran. He doesn't make as many mistakes and blah, blah, blah. And there was one play I remember where Shelvin Mack I watched it. You watched Quinn Snyder send him the play, and Shelvin Mack just like dribbled the air out of the ball, took a bad 3, and he was benched afterwards, and he did not play for like 2 or 3 games. That is the type of play that reminded me of that. It's just, sometimes you can't get over something like that. It's pretty bad. Sorry. Don't bring up the name Quinn. Funny story. I think it was either on this channel or on Twitter, told me like, someone who I guess knows of the Hoops Nerd channel and SLC. But I get, and there's guys that look like me, bald white guys with a beard. There's a few of those walking around Utah, right? But he was some guy, I think he's on this channel sometimes. He said, yeah, Quinn came up to me and asked me if I was the Hoops Nerd. And did not look pleased. making enemies right and left. That's okay. I don't mind being the villain of this story. You don't have a good story if you don't have a good villain. There's no Star Wars without Darth Vader. There's no Indiana Jones without the Nazis. And there's no, I don't know. You can't have a good Utah Jazz story without a villain in SLC Dunk and the Hoops Nerd channel, right? I don't know. All right. Well, I think that's everything tonight. But we do have to do our poll for the night. We have gotten lucky like 7 of the last 8 nights. The Jazz have won the lottery. And when I say won the lottery, you jump into the top 4. If Utah gets top 4, I'm happy. Would I like to win the Cooper Flag sweepstakes? Absolutely. 100 million% yes. But if Utah wins top 4, I'm also very excited. All right, let's see. If the lottery was tonight, what would happen? Let's see. Worst case scenario, Utah drops to 5, but they have preserved the 5 spot at least. No! We lost. We lost. So that puts the Jazz at 5 with Jack Usonis, Trey Johnson, Con Canopal, Common Malawach. No! No! It's okay. There's plenty of time left, and that's only 1 draw. Let's do it again just for fun. No! We lost again. Stop doing it. It hurts your heart. All right. Let's give a shout out to the All-Stars. Thank you guys for supporting this channel. I appreciate it so much. Let's give a shout out to Robert, Hall of Fame, Christian, House Money to Haas. Feel better, Christian. I'm sorry about your back. Cam Bam, thank you, ma'am. Ryan Edward Perry, the legend. I believe in Steve Jazz Exile. Baby Elliott Matson. See ya, Lex Salater. Jordan, the GOAT Best Roll. Austin R. Grant, Editor Extraordinaire. KG10 to TH5, the OG, and Patrick Akubo, the connoisseur. Guys, like I said, like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to join, that's great. If you don't want to, that's also fine. I will talk to you tomorrow night. The Jazz are playing